Hey there. Today I'm going to be talking to you about why we stopped using first language lessons for the well trained mind. Um, all opinions are my own. This is my school. This is my happy place. This is where I get to decide what I like and I don't like. And you have come here for some reason to listen to it. So, here's my opinion. We use this curriculum for first grade, second grade, third grade, and almost halfway through fourth grade. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's a blend where they mesh together Charlotte Mason and classical style learning. Now, I'm not a devout follower of any educational philosophy. My philosophy is you find something that works and you do that. That's it. So this sounded really great. I liked that it was scripted. That was really helpful. However, towards the end, it kind of felt like I was acting because I was. Because it wasn't interesting. I had to really try. Now, back up a little. For those of you who aren't familiar with the classical style and the Charlotte Mason style, classical, from my understanding, really breaks down education into three steps, where your elementary education, you focus on facts for a solid foundation. In middle school, you think through your arguments, and then in high school, you're able to express yourself, express your arguments, express what you believe, and why something is the way it is. Whereas Charlotte Mason is really creating an environment that produces the natural love for learning, through poem memorization and art, through feasting upon good literature, which I love that idea. I really like that. So you'll see I'm probably lean a little bit more towards the Charlotte Mason approach as opposed to the classical, which was, I think, why our main reason why we had to stop, because it was just becoming so tiresome with the repetition. I felt like this curriculum definitely leaned a lot more towards the classical type of learning for that reason. And some of it was good. Some of it was like, wow, my kids know all these definitions. But then some of it was just like, I don't know, lists of 35 prepositions. And I don't have time for that. And the poems, I would try in the beginning, but then it was just so hard. And not that homeschooling should be easy. It shouldn't be easy. And I get why people want to do poem memorization. I get that. But for me, it felt like it took so much more time than anything else in our homeschool day. And that didn't equate to me as a beneficial thing. I would rather my children memorize scripture or something along those lines. So the repetition of the facts, the poem memorization that we didn't do, I didn't like that part. The diagramming also felt a little over the top, not in the sense that it was too extensive, but it was so repetitive that it just felt like we were beating a dead horse. And it was almost as if we weren't getting new concepts each year, where we were just recycling the same stuff, and it was becoming exhausting for my children, and they didn't want to do it, which, I mean, in the end of it, I want to create an environment where my kids love to learn. And if they're not loving learning, what am I doing? So wasn't working for us. I held on to the bitter end, it felt like. And maybe I would have felt different if I would have, kept going through middle school. Maybe I would have been like, oh, I see how this just paid off. But I just didn't have the patience for it. I felt like I wanted us to gain more out of our education, more out of our language arts. I felt like there was something missing. That being said, it's a really great curriculum. For you, if you love it, keep going with it. It's not decidingly, Christian, not decidedly secular. So you can kind of, if that's not important to you, you can find yourself in the middle there, and it's good. For me, as time goes on, I feel like I definitely want something a little bit more decidedly Christian, unapologetically Christian, for my kids, to just strengthen them in that. Also, strengthen their biblical worldview. So At the end of the day, these are just my opinions. This is my homeschool. We do what I want. And that's why we stopped using first language lessons for the well-trained mind.